The House of Representatives in February last year, just a week after the commencement of the strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, passed a resolution asking the federal government to adhere to the clauses and provisions in its MOU and MOA with the union. This would almost seem like members of the House were on the side of the lecturers, especially after going further to hold meetings with the striking lecturers during the period of the strike and promising interventions, as well as organizing a summit on tertiary education reform in November last year. In 2022, the ASUU strike was in its 7th month when the House leadership began engaging concerned parties to bring it to an end. While the interactions between the House leadership and the striking lecturers, as well as the executive arm of government, were ongoing, in October last year, a court judgment secured by the federal government ordered the union back to work, to which it complied. But just before that, the lecturers had hinted at calling off the strike after considering the intervention of the leadership of the House of Representatives. But things turned sour as just before the 2023 budget was passed by the National Assembly, the House of Representatives reacted to an interview granted by the ASUU president, where he accused the speaker of deception following what he described as failed promises. In a statement signed by the spokesperson of the lower chamber, he insisted that the House of Representatives helped resolve the strike by making commitments to improve the welfare package of university lecturers and revitalization funds to improve the infrastructure and operations of federal universities. But this doesn't seem satisfactory to the union. ASUU says the 470 billion naira provision in the budget was not even the idea of the House leadership.
When we went on strike, we met with the Minister of Education, Adamu. He said the government have agreed to release 300 billion naira as need assessment fund to the tertiary education, which is what's in the book. That is what they're not ASUU. ASUU will get about 170 or so, I can't remember the exact amount. And at 170 will be for the annual increment in salary. So there's nothing new in that money in the budget. Nothing new. The issue of UTAS and IPs, has it been resolved? Which of the issues that the speaker intervened in have been resolved?
The elements that they felt were missing in the IPPS have been accommodated and integrated in the IPPS. So you can't, when you talk about deception, you can't come to a table with 4 propositions on a negotiation and you expect to work out with the 4. That is 100%. Then it's no longer a negotiation, it's an imposition.
Now, while the House says it agrees with the government on the no work, no pay decision, ASUU insists that was not the agreement with the House leadership either, and claims that attempts to reach the speaker have failed since calling off the strike.
Section 43, subsection 1, paragraph A of the Trade Dispute Act that you find in Cap T8 Laws of Federation of Nigeria is very clear on this. You know, that if you work, you're paid. If you don't work, you're not paid. You're supposed to be paid. And we knew that this was existing. That was why we did not firmly commit to that. But we promised we were going to appeal to Mr. President.
I will send you his letter that he wrote to us, where he said that government have agreed, although the issue of the government have agreed to pay part of that money. We're not accepting part of, but that is what he wrote that they are not denying. And this is a man who said we should trust him, and we trusted him. So I called up the strike himself, he's a COS, like Chief of Staff, and call. None of them picked my call again.
The House of Representatives, on the other hand, said it did make this presentation before the president, but the president was advised against it so as not to set the wrong precedents. A document made available to Channels Television by the ASUU president and signed by the speaker shows that part of the resolutions was that government would make a concession for ASUU on special grounds to pay part of its salaries during the strike period, and that the earned academic allowances of the union would be addressed in the 2023 budget, both of which are yet to be met. The concern now will be with the breakdown in trust between ASUU and the House of Representatives. Who will intervene in the next ASUU strike? Maybe the courts again, which ASUU and education experts say will have a damaging effect on the morale of lecturers and perhaps the quality of education in Nigerian universities. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.